Have you ever felt invisible in a crowded room? Not just alone, but fundamentally unknown. Like your presence is a whisper on a busy street, easily drowned out by the noise of the world. For some, this isn't a passing mood. It's the silent, lifelong echo of a childhood where their feelings were a language no one spoke. It's the legacy of emotional neglect, and it creates a loneliness so profound it can make you feel like a ghost in your own life, haunting the spaces you're supposed to inhabit. When people think of neglect, they often picture something visceral, a child left without food, shelter, or safety. But emotional neglect is far more subtle, a master of disguise. It's not about what is done, but about what is not done, not said, not felt. It doesn't leave bruises on the skin. It leaves them on the developing heart, the forming mind. And because it's so quiet, so ordinary, woven into the fabric of daily life, many who grow up this way don't even realize what's missing for decades. They just know that something fundamental always felt off.
A dissonance they couldn't name. Think about the emotional atmosphere of a home. It can be perfectly clean, orderly. A family can sit together for dinner every night. Clothes are washed, lunches are packed, bills are paid. But if no one ever turns to you and asks, "How did that make you feel?" or "What's worrying you behind those eyes?" a child learns a dangerous foundational lesson. They learn that their inner world, their swirling fears, their private excitements, their quiet sorrows, is irrelevant to the family ecosystem, or worse, that it's an inconvenience, a burden. So they begin to hold it all in, building a secret vault inside. While other children laughed freely and cried openly, they learned to watch, to monitor the room's emotional temperature, to make themselves small, manageable, and unobtrusive. They became expert cartographers of other people's moods because their emotional survival seemed to depend on it, all while becoming utter strangers to their own terrain. Research in developmental psychology and neuroscience confirms the immense weight of this silence. As Dr. Janice Webb, a pioneer in this field, explains, children don't need perfect, infallible parents. They need emotional responders. They need to feel seen, soothed, and understood a significant amount of the time. This process, called attunement, is the nutrient-rich soil for a healthy sense of self. When that attunement is absent, when parents are chronically distracted, overwhelmed, depressed, or simply emotionally unskilled, the child's emotional signals go unanswered. Their joy isn't mirrored. Their fear isn't comforted. Their very essence fails to register in the most important mirror they have, their parents' gaze. And that sense of psychic invisibility, carried day after day, year after year, becomes one of the heaviest burdens a human soul can bear. Brain scans show that social pain, like rejection or neglect, activates the same neural pathways as physical pain. The ache is quite literally real. What makes this wound so uniquely confusing is its negative space nature. Unlike trauma caused by direct harm or abuse, emotional neglect is defined by an absence.
There's no single dramatic story to point to, no villain, no obvious catastrophe. Instead, it's the haunting accumulation of thousands of little moments that never happened. It's the scraped knee where no one offered a hug with the bandage. It's the nightmare where no one came in to sit on the edge of the bed and dispel the shadows. It's the excited chatter about a school project met with a distracted instead of genuine, curious questions. It's your parent forgetting the name of your best friend, year after year. Slowly, without a single cruel word being said, the child's emotional outreach reflexes atrophy. They learn, in their bones and synapses, that their inner world isn't welcome, isn't interesting, isn't valid. This learning doesn't stay confined to childhood. It hardens into the operating system for a life. The emotionally neglected child grows into the adult who feels profoundly disconnected, even in a room full of friends or a loving partner's arms.
They may appear fiercely independent, hyper-capable, and impressively strong, the rock everyone leans on. But underneath that competent, often admired exterior lives a persistent, haunting question. Do I really matter to anyone? Would I even be missed? Because they never learn to trust, identify, or value their own emotions, they often struggle with a fragmented sense of identity. They doubt their instincts and gut feelings. They apologize for having basic needs. They work endlessly to prove their worth through achievement and service. Yet inside, they carry a hollow emptiness that no promotion, no accolade, no amount of external validation can ever truly fill. It's a void shaped exactly like the unmet childhood need for emotional reflection. This is a specific, agonizing kind of loneliness. It's not about being physically alone. It's about being emotionally unknown. It's the loneliness of having a self that feels like a secret, even and especially to you. And science shows us this isn't just poetic melancholy, it's physiologically consequential.
Chronic loneliness can impact our health as severely as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, elevating risks for depression, anxiety, cognitive decline, and cardiovascular disease. When we trace the roots of this deep-seated existential loneliness, so often we find the same quiet, unphotographed story, a child who learned very early that their feelings were not important currency in the human exchange. Now, a crucial and compassionate point of clarity. Most parents who create this dynamic are not cruel. They aren't monsters. Very often, they were emotionally neglected themselves, operating with their own internal blueprints of silence. They love their children. They provide materially. They want the best. But love without emotional attunement and skill can still wound deeply. A parent might say, "Stop crying, you're fine," thinking it builds toughness and resilience, when it really teaches a child to distrust and suppress their own pain. A parent might dismiss a burst of childhood excitement with a weary, "Calm down. It's not that big a deal," believing they're preventing future disappointment when they are actually communicating, "Your joy is too much. Dim your light." These aren't malicious crimes. They are profound, unintentional failures of emotional connection. But to a child, they are the individual bricks that build an impenetrable wall between their authentic heart and the world. And children, being brilliant, intuitive survivalists, adapt. They craft elaborate masks to navigate this emotional desert and secure whatever shreds of connection they can. Some become the perfect child, the high achiever, the perpetual helper, the little adult, trying to earn the love and attention they crave through flawless performance and zero demands. Others become the invisible child, withdrawing into fantasy worlds, staying quiet, perfecting the art of not taking up space, not needing, not existing as a burden. And some become the rebel or problem child, acting out, not because they inherently want trouble, but because even sharp negative attention feels warmer and more real than the chilling vacuum of being ignored.
Each mask, whether meticulously crafted from gold, fragile glass, or defensive stone, hides the same raw, starving truth, a deep, primal hunger to be seen and valued for who they are at their core, not for what they do or don't do. The tragedy is that these childhood survival masks fuse to the skin over time. The perfectionist adult burns themselves out, feeling like a fraud plagued by imposter syndrome, no matter their towering success. The invisible adult avoids all risk, conflict, and vulnerability, convinced deep down they don't deserve to want more, to be more. The rebel might push people away preemptively, sabotaging relationships before they can be abandoned, replaying the old dynamic on their own terms. The root is identical, a core fear forged in the silent furnace of childhood, the bedrock belief that their authentic, emotional, messy self is unacceptable and unlovable. This is where the most damaging distortion takes permanent hold. Because the neglect was invisible, a lack of action, a missing response, the child's brain, seeking cause for the effect, concludes, "It must be me. I am the problem. I am too much, or I am not enough." They internalize the silent message, transforming "my feelings weren't welcomed here" into "I shouldn't have these feelings at all. My feelings are wrong." This toxic belief can persist for a lifetime, leading to a hollow, numb emptiness that's achingly hard to describe. Not quite sadness, not quite anger,
more like a quiet, persistent absence of self, like living in a beautiful, spacious house where all the furniture is missing. You can walk through the rooms, but nothing feels lived in, nothing holds your shape. There is no echo of your life. Yet here is the liberating, non-negotiable truth. This is not a life sentence. It is a wound, often an inherited one, and like all wounds, with attention and care, it can heal. Healing begins with the profound, courageous act of naming what happened. Simply realizing my childhood involved emotional neglect can be earth-shattering. It shifts the fundamental question from what is inherently wrong with me to what happened to me and how did I adapt to survive? That single shift moves the burden from shame to compassionate curiosity.
And compassion for that lost child and for the struggling adult is the fertile soil where everything new and authentic can finally grow. Healing is, at its core, the practice of reparenting yourself. It is becoming the attentive, validating, emotionally present guardian you needed but didn't get. It's pausing when you're sad to offer yourself kindness and comfort instead of automatic dismissal. It's letting yourself fully feel a spark of joy without immediately shutting it down as silly. It's learning the forgotten language of your own emotions, perhaps through journaling, through somatic therapy, through mindfulness, or through the corrective experience of one safe, validating relationship. Every time you notice a feeling and say, "Ah, that's what this is. It's okay that I feel this," you are rewiring your brain. You are sending a new signal to your nervous system. You matter. Your feelings are valid data. You are not invisible anymore. You are home. This arduous but beautiful journey has a profound alchemy. It transforms the very sensitivity that caused such deep pain into a rare and profound strength. Because you know in your cells what it is to feel utterly unseen, you become someone who possesses the gift of truly seeing others.
Your cultivated empathy becomes deep and genuine. Your loneliness, once a solitary prison, gradually becomes a refined compass, pointing you relentlessly, intuitively toward what is real and authentic, and away from what is hollow. The empty house inside you begins to fill, room by room, with the furniture of your own lived experience, your hard-won self-knowledge, your earned comforts. The lonely life of the emotionally neglected child is real. Its echoes are long, and they reverberate. But your story does not end with that echo. You are not doomed to be a ghost, forever fading at the edges. You are capable of the courageous work of building a life where your emotions are honored as guides. Your voice is heard, first by yourself, and your presence is felt, deeply and irrevocably, by you and by those you choose to let in. And in doing so, you achieve something monumental. You don't just heal your own wounds, you become a vital part of breaking a generational cycle of silence. You prove through your own becoming that from the quietest, most neglected, and barren emotional soil, the most resilient, compassionate, and beautiful things can still and will grow.